Hey guys, it's Jeremy here, and it's officially iPhone season. So Apple just recently wrapped up their keynote introducing this year's new iPhone, and on top of that, this year's new model of the Apple Watch. So let's get into a quick recap on what was shown and what was featured at this year's iPhone event. So starting off with the Apple Watch Series 9. So the Apple Watch Series 9 is introducing a brand new chip. It is called the S9 SIP chip, and it's supposed to be more powerful and faster than the previous generation. Now, when it comes to these type of upgrades, we know for a fact that in recent years, Apple has been slowly, little bit by little bit, pulling out little bit features at a time that sometimes it really doesn't grant a upgrade. For example, I am currently rocking the Apple Watch Series 8. And this year, really, they just didn't really introduce that much for me to even consider upgrading to the new Series 9, but we'll have to see. So not only did they introduce the new S9 chip, they also introduced a new functionality for your Apple Watch, which is called the double tap, where you double tap your index finger and your thumb together twice to either answer phone calls, pause your music, pause your timer, snooze your alarms, things like that, where you can't really use two hands to operate your Apple Watch. And now, you could still use your Apple Watch like the normal way, and you could silence notifications by covering it. It will silence the notifications or silence the phone call. It still works fine. You could double tap. The double tap feature is mostly used for if your other hand is occupied. Let's say, for example, you're holding a coffee cup or you're holding something in your hand like a camera and you are receiving a phone call. You could double tap your index and your thumb, and answer the call for you on your Apple Watch. Or if, let's say, you are cooking in the kitchen and you need to set a timer, things like that, you could use the double tap feature for that. The next feature that they introduced is Siri. So Siri, you all know, is Apple's helper, Apple's AI, and Siri will now be native on the Apple Watch Series 9. What does that mean? It means that Siri no longer has to beam up to the cloud, get that information that you need from the cloud, and then bounce back to your Apple Watch. So let's say, for example, you need Siri to start a workout. Be like, hey, insert AI name, start a workout, whatever workout you need, and will automatically start. For me, the Series 8, for me to order, for everyone else who has a previous generation Apple Watch, in order for you to start a workout, when you say, hey, to start a workout, it takes a little while for Siri to actually activate and make that workout. So it's easier for me, in my opinion, to go into the Apple Watch, scroll all the way down to the workout app, and press workout instead of asking Siri to start a workout for me. Because with the previous generation, Siri will have to beam to the cloud and then send that data back to the watch itself. So that's pretty much to the features that they introduced into the brand new Apple Watches. Another thing I want to talk about when it comes to the new Apple Watch Series 9 is that Apple relentlessly, and I mean relentlessly, have talked about this over and over and over throughout the panel. The Apple Watch Series 9 is 100% carbon neutral. What does that mean? Meaning that for the first time ever, this Apple Watch, the Apple Watch Series 9, is made out of 100% recycled material. If you guys don't know, Apple is trying to move away from using non-renewable resources to using renewable resources and recycling and being carbon neutral and not leave a carbon footprint by the year 2030. And so constantly throughout the panel, if you guys have watched the keynote, throughout the keynote, they have repeated multiple times how carbon neutral the Apple Watch is, how carbon neutral their office, their headquarters, their stores are. And honestly, it went on and on and on. And if you took a shot every time they say carbon neutral, you'll be flat out drunk. Just telling you that right now. They mentioned carbon neutral 100 times over. Now, when it comes to being carbon neutral, I'm all for it, but when it's constantly pushed and pushed and pushed, it kind of gets repetitive and kind of also gets annoying, especially when they introduce a skit, like a short film, with Tim Cook being there as well. And the thing is that they were trying to present carbon neutral to Mother Nature in a way, and Mother Nature was at a board meeting, and if you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. It's very interesting. You know, again, like all they had to do was just play that short film and that was it. Like the message was heard that they're going carbon neutral. But yeah, other than that, Apple also have mentioned that their watch bands, the leather watch bands, they will no longer be producing them. They'll no longer be teaming up with companies that produces leather watch bands. And so companies like, luxury company like Hermes, for example, they're moving towards a carbon neutral type of watch band for the Apple Watch. I don't remember what material is actually made out of. I think it's made out of like recyclable material, but at the same time, don't quote me on it. I don't remember exactly what they said that the Hermes bands are made out of. But other than that, yes. So that is it pretty much for the Apple Watch Series 9. Let's move on to the Apple Watch Ultra 2. Now, the Apple Watch Ultra 2 really, again, is not a major step up from last year. I was actually expecting a lot more. I was actually expecting a little bit more functionality when it comes to the Apple Watches. Honestly, this year was kind of a pretty letdown when it comes to features on the Apple Watches. Again, it's using the same chip as the Series 9. Now, the only difference between last year's model when they first introduced the Ultra, Apple Watch Ultra, and this year is that the brightness could go all the way up to 3,000 nits as opposed to last year's model, which is only 2,000 nits. But other than that, the same features, double tap. It is about 95% carbon neutral. Their watch bands are also recyclable. What else is there? Basically, it's the same features as if it were last year. Same battery life, the same up to 36 hours of usage, 72 hours on low power mode, fast charging. And also, yeah, I forgot to mention about battery life for the Series 9. The Series 9 is the same exact thing as the Series 8 when it comes to battery life. 18 hours of normal use, 36 hours on low power mode, and they both have fast charging. But that is pretty much it when it comes to the Apple Watches. Pretty mundane, it's really nothing to write home about. Now, the one thing about me is that when I got the Series Watch 8, when I got the Series 8, I kind of was looking at the Ultra at the same time. Will I be getting the Ultra this time? Honestly, it's kind of leaning towards yes, because I really, not that I'm an active person or anything like that. I don't go hiking, I don't go mountain climbing, I don't go scuba diving. I'm not a very active person. So the only reason why I was thinking about looking towards the Ultra Watch, the Apple Watch Ultra 2, is basically the battery life. For me, the battery life on the Series 8, it's okay. It's okay, but the thing is that every time I will come home, I will always have to put it on the charger because by the time I get home at the end of the day, it's about 60, almost 59%, and then the day is still not done for me. You know, if the day is still not done for me, I still have to go work out at the gym or like do other errands outside the house and things like that. So for that, I have to put my Apple Watch back on the charger, and the 36-hour battery life on the Ultra is actually looking pretty nice. It's actually tempting me a little bit. So we will have to see. If I do end up getting the Ultra 2, of course, I'll be unboxing it and showing you guys, and also real-world testing it for you guys as well. But let's move on here to the other news, which is the iPhone 15. Basically, if you guys haven't noticed already, Apple has been taking the Pro models from the previous year and implementing it into the new generation models. So say, for example, the iPhone 14 Pro. Basically, the 15 is basically the iPhone 14 Pro, but just rebranded as a 15. That's just pretty much it. But compared to that, there are a couple of key features that are coming to the 15 that the 14 didn't have. For example, when it comes to portrait mode now, you don't have to switch your camera back and forth between normal and portrait mode, photo mode and then portrait mode. You could literally just take your photos in the photo setting and then edit later to resemble the portrait mode. Now the brand new iPhones, the telephoto lens could zoom up to 2 times the telephoto, so that is really impressive. Other than that, it's not really anything. Same battery life as last year's model. 20 hours of playback on the regular 15, and then 26 hours of playback on the 15 Plus. Oh yeah, in terms of pricing, sorry guys, in terms of pricing wise, the Apple Watch Series 9 still starts at $399, and then goes up from there. The Ultra, the Apple Watch Ultra 2 also still starts at $799. For the iPhone, it is still priced at $799 for the iPhone 15 and not $899 for the iPhone 15 Plus. Now, when it comes to the new changes, right? The new changes, what is brand new to this line of iPhones? What is so different than last year's model? Basically, what is so different than last year's model is in the Pro models. So the iPhone 15 Pro, first off right off the bat, oh yeah, by the way, for both iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Pro, they're now introducing USB Type-C, which all of us pretty much knew it was coming. If you guys haven't noticed, the EU had passed a bill last year or earlier this year saying that all wireless devices, all mobile devices has to be universal USB Type-C going forward. So Apple had no choice but to make that transition into USB Type-C. The only difference between the Pro and the 15 is, I'll get to that in a moment. But first, let's start off with the 15 Pro. The 15 Pro, they're moving away from stainless steel and they're going towards titanium. 100% reusable, 100% recyclable titanium. And for me, it really does look really nice. I'm looking at the pictures right now and it does look very nice. Now, in terms of the color, it's kind of dull. In a way, I wish they had a little bit more of like a lighter tone, because if you guys remember, I did an unboxing of the iPhone 13 Pro Max and I still have it right here with me. And the 13 Pro Max, I really like this color, the blue color right here. So I was hoping they could have this shade of blue again, but again, like the blue that they have is actually really nice. So I might end up getting the 15 Pro Max in the what's called the blue titanium. That's what it's called, blue titanium. Now, another thing is that it is rocking a A17 Pro chip. This chip is the first of its kind, by the way, guys. Nowhere ever in the history of iPhones where Apple introduced a Pro chip for the iPhones. So this is rocking a A17 Pro chip. Now, what comes with that is that basically this phone is a beast. They introduced it by saying that you could game on this. You could game on this phone. You could do ray tracing. The ray tracing on it is very nice. They introduced like a demo on the ray tracing. They also showed demos of Resident Evil Village, Resident Evil 4 Remaster, and then also the brand new Assassin's Creed is also going to be on this iPhone as well, native to this iPhone as well. Now, in terms of games, guys, I really don't play a lot of mobile games that often anymore. I used to in the past, but not that much anymore. For me, when it comes to playing games, I like to play my games on a big screen. And the smallest screen I play my games on now is basically the Nintendo Switch. That's basically it. When anything smaller than that, the only time I use my phone is basically to consume content, to browse social media, browse the web, make phone calls, text, and basically do everything else but gaming. Let's see here. Oh, in terms of the Pro and Pro Max, the Pro Max zoom for the Pro Zoom is 120 millimeters, so meaning that's very far. It's like it's very far, and the difference between the regular Pro and the Pro Max is that the sensor type for you to be able to get that 120 millimeter zoom. So Apple has this thing where it's a mirror to another mirror, and it's like it's a weird type of thing where the image bounces off a couple of mirrors and into the sensor in a way, which is really great. I want to try this out, to be honest, guys. I really want to try this 120 millimeter out just to see how it is. Another thing that they introduced to the Pro line is the action button. Now, both Pro lines have this. The regular Pro and the Pro Max has this. Gone are the days of the mute switch. If you guys remember the mute switch where you just flip the switch and then just automatically mutes your phone, that is gone now. Now, in replace of that is called the action button. The action button also has the feature to mute and silence your phone, but at the same time can also toggle your camera, toggle focus mode, toggle your flashlight, toggle voicemail, translation, magnifier, shortcuts, and really anything, really. Shortcuts, you can really set your shortcuts up to really open up any app that you want on this action button. And for me, I'm indifferent about this. You know, for me, I always constantly keep my phone on silent at all times. At 95% of the time, I keep it on silent. It's just better that way for me. But when it comes to the action button, I'm very curious of how I would utilize the action button as opposed to the silent switch. Maybe I would still keep it on the silent mode. Maybe I'll switch it out to the camera mode or the flashlight. Who knows? I gotta get my hands on the iPhone first in order for me to test it out and show you guys about that. Now, when it comes, going back to the USB Type-C ordeal, Apple has introduced USB Type-C to both iPhones now. The thing about it is that the transfer speed for the regular iPhone 15 is really, really slow. It's literally the same speed as if you're going to use the Lightning cable. Nothing different, nothing the same, nothing different as the speeds of that. Literally, AirDrop is way faster than using it wired, and I can't believe I'm saying like wireless is faster than wired. That is just ridiculous. But when it comes to the Pro models, the Pro models are 10-bit giga transfer. So meaning that the gigabits of it transferring is way faster. And I wish that Apple would integrate this not only just in the Pro, but also at the same time integrate it in the original 15, you know? Because the thing is that the 15 is running on USB Type-C 2.0, and then the Pro is running on 3.0. So it really, like, I don't know. Like, to be honest, like, I think they could have done a little bit better. Maybe put the 15 as 3.0 and then put the Pro as 4.0, you know, to make it faster, make it different if you guys want to make it that way. But change up the speed a little bit because USB Type-C is supposed to be faster transfer data. In terms of battery life for the Pro, so 23 hours of playback, of video playback on the regular 15 Pro, and then 29 hours of playback on the 15 Pro Max. So that is almost compared to last year. Really nothing different, to be honest with you guys. The one thing I am very most excited about that I'm really, really wanting to test out is iOS 17. iOS 17, if you guys have not seen WWDC, go watch the panel, go watch the keynote. But in terms of that, WWDC really showed a lot of potential with iOS 17. And then like the whole like transferring your contacts and like changing your wallpaper, changing all that stuff, it really is nice. The last thing I want to talk about the Pro line is that there is spatial video. So spatial video is basically you're recording in kind of like a 3D video type of ordeal so that you could later implement it into the Vision Pro, the Apple Vision Pro, which Apple announced earlier at WWDC. This feature, I don't think 99% of people will actually use this feature because I don't think the 99% of people will actually be buying a Vision Pro. It is overly priced at this point. If you guys don't know, the Vision Pro is at $3,500. And I don't think the average person or the normal person, the masses, 99% of people will spend $3,500 on a AR/VR headset. We'll just have to see later down the line when Apple introduces again the Vision Pro. Lastly, they did briefly mention this, that the Apple AirPods Pro 2, the cases will be updated to USB Type-C as well. They did mention briefly that if you have the 15 Pro and you have the brand new AirPods with the USB Type-C charging case, you could charge your AirPod case through your iPhone. So basically, you could just hook up the port USB Type-C to USB Type-C and actually charge your AirPods Pro. For me, I don't think I'll be upgrading to or buying that type of AirPods Pro at the moment because I already have AirPods Pro 2 and I'm fine with the case as it is. I usually just wireless, I just usually use like the wired Qi charging method. I wirelessly charge it overnight if I need to. Basically, I don't think right now I'll be upgrading to that type of case unless something happens to my AirPods where I lose them or something happens to them and I need to buy a brand new pair. But other than that, that is all to this year's Apple Keynote. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys were informed of what is to come in the future of the new iPhone. As recording of this video, you could actually pre-order the Apple Watch right now. If you guys want to buy the Apple Watch Series 9 or the Apple Watch Ultra 2, you guys could pre-order that right now. And then come Friday the 15th, you could pre-order the brand new iPhone 15 and 15 Pros. Both Apple Watches and both iPhones will be released next Friday on September 22nd. So that's when they all come out and things like that. So if you pre-ordered, it will get delivered to you or you could pick it up at a local Apple store near you. And the prices may vary on the model that you choose and the storage base that you choose. In terms of pricing for the Pro, it's going to start off at $999 for the regular 15 Pro, and then for the Pro Max, it's going to start off at $1199. So the same price as last year's model. Nothing has changed in terms of pricing. There was a rumor that Apple is going to is actually going to increase the Pro models prices, but in terms of what we found out at the keynote, everything is staying the exact same prices as previous years. So that just pretty much wraps it up, guys. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe because I'm coming out with more content on this channel. Also, if you guys haven't subscribed already to my vlog channel, please subscribe to my vlog channel as well and keep up with me on my day-to-day, on my week-to-week activities here. So I will see you guys on my next video. Peace.